Hello, this is Femi Akojenu here, John Maxwell Certified Executive Coach. In today's video, I want to show you how the skills that you've developed can help you to thrive in this world. I also want to show you how the skills that you have developed right now in your life will give you an edge over your competitors. You know, in any area of life, anything you're trying to do, there is a competitor. If you have some skills that they don't have, it usually gives you an edge over them. So let's unpack this teaching right now. And I pray that as you listen to me, you will be motivated to acquire some new skills. Now, why is it beneficial for you to develop skills? Let me start out by saying this. A skill is an ability to do something well. The ability to do something well. And so in this teaching, I'm showing you that anything you know how to do well helps you to stand a chance of thriving in this world. You know, if you know anything about our world today, we celebrate the best. You know, the world doesn't celebrate mediocrity. The world doesn't celebrate those who are, average. The world usually are celebrating the best. Isn't that what happens during award shows? It could be a musical award show or maybe an acting, drama, movies, that kind of a thing. Who are they celebrating? The best of the best. And so when you can do anything well, it positions you into being able to thrive and succeed in this world. Let me show you some few other benefits of developing skills. And then I will show you areas where you should develop skills. And we'll conclude this by showing you how to develop skills. Now, in tough times, many times, the people who are able to thrive are the ones who have developed certain skills. Do you know that, of course, we just went through the pandemic? Do you know that many people, they know what to do again? Because maybe in the area of their career, in the area of their skill set, everything was shut down. And because they didn't have skills in other areas, they didn't know what to do. They couldn't function. But those who are well rounded in their skills, they're able to say, you know what? If this skill A is not working right now, is not applicable and usable right now, let me bring out my other skill, skill B. And they are able to thrive while others don't know what to do. So, developing skills, especially well rounded skills, helps you in tough times. Now, having skills also help you with more opportunities. There are more opportunities for those who have skills. You know, from time to time, they may say, well, we're looking for somebody who knows how to do this. Now, by the way, the skills we're talking about, they're not necessarily what you get from a college degree or a university degree. It could be anything you know how to do. From time to time, there's a call from somewhere around the world. It could be from America, it could be from UK, it could be from Africa, anywhere around the world where the call is, we're looking for those who know how to do this. And if you've been someone who've developed a well-rounded skill in your life, then you can say, hey, I am the one. Even though I work in this other sector, but I have this other skill, and opportunity is open for you. That way, the more skills you develop, the more opportunities for you. Now, when you develop skills, it also helps you with your self-esteem. You know, there's something about knowing I know how to do it that gives you a kind of confidence. As a matter of fact, one of the reasons why some people have low self-esteem, I'm not saying it's the only reason, but one of the reasons is that I don't know how to do what others know how to do. How about instead of feeling inferior, you look at your mates, you look at your coworkers, you look at maybe other family members, and they are very skilled in many things, and they're very good at many things. Instead of you feeling inferior and even jealous of them, how about you begin to develop skills? Because guess what? Most likely they were not born with that skill. Most likely they learned it here on earth. And so you too can decide that I'm not going to be jealous of them. I'm just going to learn it too. right? So it has a way of building your self-esteem. Do you know that the more skills you have, the better your relationships are? And I will get into that momentarily. There are certain skill sets that you develop that will help you to have better relationships, whether they are with friends or a significant other or family members or co-workers. There are certain skills that you develop that helps your relationships to be better. And of course, I mentioned this earlier. It gives you an edge over your competition. The truth of the matter is this: there is competition in this world. There is. So, the more skills you have, the better chance you stand. Sometimes you have some skills, and others have more skills, better skills. And so, when an employer, for example, is looking for who to hire, they look for the one with the better skills. Now, don't just say, well, they're racist, or well, they are biased, or something. No, 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 no. Why don't you get some skills? Why don't you have better skills, develop better skills, so that even sometimes, when they want to discriminate, it's difficult for them to discriminate. I share a story with you of a friend of mine. He graduated from Yale University. This man came from Nigeria and went to Yale University in the US, and he graduated. And guess what? He was looking for a job, and Goldman Sachs, they saw his credentials, they saw his skill set, and they said, wow, this guy is the kind of guy we want. So he went for an interview. They didn't hire him, and they asked him to come for another interview. He said he went for 16 interviews. And so finally he asked them, he said, hey, you've been asking me to come back and to come back and to come back. What's the problem? You know, the reason they could not deny him is that his skills speaks for itself. His skill speaks for itself. So they're like, no, we cannot deny this guy. But at the same time, they were afraid. So when he asked them that question, they said, well, the reason why we've not decided on you is because we are concerned about your accent. And we're just worried because you're going to be, advising CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. I mean, large corporations, right? So we want to make sure that you'll be able to communicate with them in a way that they can understand. So my friend said, you know what? No problem. I'll just go and take an accent reduction class. And so they said, you will do that? He said, yes, I'll do that. They said, you are hired. So all he needed was an accent reduction class to be added to his skill set for them to decide, we're going to hire you. Do you know that you don't need a college degree for an accent reduction? Just take a few, weeks of courses or something like that, where they teach you how to pronounce some words, in the American way, so that you can get this job done or you can be hired for this job. Can you imagine that? Wow. And I can go on and on and on about the benefits of developing skills. Remember this. When I tell you about developing skills, it doesn't mean now you're going to go and enroll in another university and get a whole degree. No, the skill set we're talking about doesn't necessarily always mean a degree. As a matter of fact, a skill you may learn, you may just learn it for one weekend. You just, read a couple of books or attend a seminar, boom, you've learned a new skill, you begin to apply it in your life, and you stand an advantage or at an advantage over your competitor. Wow, this is amazing right here. Now, let me tell you some areas that you can begin to develop when it comes to your skills, right? An area or some areas that you can develop yourself. You can begin to develop yourself. Now, I am advocating right now a well-rounded kind of a thing. In other words, you are developing skills in various aspects of life. It's not just academic skill. Because some of you watching me right now, you have the academic skill, but you're lacking in some other areas. And consequently, it makes you to fail. Consequently, others are chosen over you. So when I talk about developing skill set, it's not necessarily always academic. So let's look at a few. Number one, communication and interpersonal skill. Do you know that you need to learn how to communicate? Do you know that we don't, by default, as human beings, know how to communicate. It is something we learn. We learn it. Sometimes you may be around people who don't know how to talk. They just talk anyhow. I come from a country where, I've seen people when they're talking, my country people, oh my God, they just talk anyhow. They don't care the emotions of who they're talking to. They don't care how they talk. They just talk anyhow. They don't know any better, right? While there are others who know how to talk, very polished. They know how to talk with respect and all that stuff. That is important, knowing how to communicate. Because guess what? People will want to be around you if they know that you know how to communicate the right way. You know how to communicate with understanding, with respect. Nobody wants to be around you when you just talk anyhow. And so you may need to take a course on communication. We are not born with this ability necessarily. And sometimes you didn't have the opportunity to have grown around people who have told you and taught you how to communicate properly. Sometimes you grew up around people who are very poor in the way they communicate. So consequently, you too, you are poor. But you can change that, right? You can begin to learn how to communicate better with people. And we are talking about interpersonal skills, the way you relate with people, just knowing how to treat people with respect. Oh, people want to be around you if you know how to communicate properly and you know how to treat them with respect. As a matter of fact, they will respect you more, right? Because of that. So it's important that you learn communication and interpersonal skills. Another skill you want to learn is conflict resolution. The reality is this: from time to time, you will not see eye to eye with someone. It could be on your job, it could be in your family, it could be in your church, it could be anywhere. You're not going to always see eye to eye. So, and when, because of our differences, a conflict arises, how do you solve it, right? How do you resolve it? Some people, anytime there's a conflict, they make it worse. Oh, they're ready to fight. If you are fighting everybody everywhere, you will have no friends. If you're fighting everybody everywhere, you have nobody who wants to work with you. And so knowing, when somebody disagrees with you, how do you handle that? Because everybody don't have to agree with you. And by the way, if you're a leader, people don't have to agree with you, right? So you must have the capability of handling when even the people you are leading disagrees with you. How do you handle that? How do you resolve that? Because sometimes you need to learn from the people you are leading over, right? And so conflict resolution is important. You need to develop that skill. Well, another one that you need to develop is organizational skill. Organizational skill. The more organized you are, the better you are. As a matter of fact, you can achieve more in your own life, in any area, whether academically, whether in your marriage or any other area, when you are more organized. You're able to even get more out of your time because you know how to organize even your time management, and any other area of your life. So having the skill of organization is also important. Another skill you want to develop is leadership skill. Leadership skill. Now, some of you may say, well, but I'm not a leader, right? I'm not a pastor. I'm not a manager on my job. I'm not the head of the family or something like that. So you're thinking, well, you're not a leader. But guess what? It depends on how you're looking at it. We're not talking about a position, because leadership is actually influence. Leadership is influence. So all of us have the ability to actually lead. Because some of you listening to me right now, you can think of a time that you got 3, 4, 5 people together to do something. Guess what? You led them. You were the leader. So you can increase your leadership skills. You can develop it, and you can be better in leading people. Now, one of the things I found out about leadership is this: those who are at the very bottom of the leadership scale, so to speak, they are the ones that people have to follow you. They have no choice. For example, if you are the boss on the job and you have the ability to fire, so somebody will just follow your instructions because they don't want to be fired. It's not because they want to follow you. It's just because they have no choice. Now, the next level is when you are such a leader that people want to follow, a leader that people say, I want to follow him. I love his idea. I love her ideas. I love, a character. I want to follow her. So in developing your leadership skills, you want to get to a point where, people are not following you because they have no choice. People are following you because they want to. Now that's amazing right there. That somebody says, I want to follow you. I just love how you are. I just love how you lead. I just love your character. I just love something about you, the way you conduct yourself. I want to follow you. Wow. That's leadership skill being upgraded right there. So in your own life, you want to develop your leadership skill. How about teamwork and collaboration? Teamwork and collaboration. Some of you listening to me, maybe you are managing a team, maybe your own business, maybe you work somewhere and you're the manager, or maybe you're not the manager, but you are part of the team. How can I learn how to work better with my team? Do you know that there are some people you don't want on your team? They are troublemakers. They just don't know how to cooperate with everybody else and get the job done. And so, if you are one of those people, of course, you'll be fired easily. If you're one of those people who don't know how to work with a team, nobody wants you on their team. They say, wow, this one is always making trouble. When everybody says, you know what, let's go for this. We've all voted, we've all decided. This is the rule, right? If it's 5 of us, the majority carries the vote or whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? So, and 3 people have voted, or maybe even 4 people voted, and they said, we chose this. You, the troublemaker, all of a sudden, oh, I don't want to follow the rule. You're always making trouble somewhere. Well, you need to develop the teamwork spirit, right? And know how to collaborate with other people. But there's more. There are many areas that you can develop, and it helps you to become well-rounded. You can also develop your presentation skills. Presentation skills. Let me add to that branding and beauty. Presentation, branding, and beauty skill. Okay, so what do I mean by that? How you dress, how you carry yourself is something you can learn to do better. It's not all of us who by default know how to do those things. Some people, they wear clothes and the tie doesn't match the shirt doesn't match the coat, doesn't match the jacket or whatever. I mean, it's just a mess. You look at them and say, wow, what a mess, right? So you yourself now, if you know you don't have it, you can develop it. Those who know how to do it, they learned it too. So you can read up on some few rules when it comes to dressing, right? How you present yourself. Do you know that, I once told somebody that, when you see my pictures and you always see me smile, there's a reason. It's intentional, right? I know the camera is on me, right? I know I'm about to take a picture, right? So why in the world will I take a picture and I'm frowning? I mean, does that make sense? Why will you take a picture? You know they're about to take a picture of you, and you just stand there, and you're just looking. Hello, smile. Presentation, right? When people see you, they see you smiling, they love to come close to you. Wow, this person is nice. But when you see somebody frowning, who wants to come to you? That's not good for your presentation, right? Beauty skills. So there are some things that can enhance your beauty. And those things in presentation, you can learn them. So that why should your friend or others, your coworker, or others, around you have an edge over you just because you don't know how to look beautiful? You dress shabby, you look shabby, and they know it, that, they know how to do these things, they know how to look beautiful. You don't know how to look beautiful. Hello, learn it. Right? Develop that skill. You may be single and you want to be married. And so you're posting pictures, and every picture you are posting, number one, you don't smile. Number two, you don't look beautiful. Nothing. You just look bland, just not attractive at all. You can develop that. The ones who know how to do it, they learn it too. So you too can learn it, right? So there are many things we can learn. How about skills when it comes to handling your emotions? We are all emotional beings. Of course, generally, females are more emotional than men, generally. However, we all have emotions. How do you handle your own emotion? How do you handle emotion? So, knowing how to handle the issues of emotion, are you the one who gets angry all the time? Guess what? You will have some skills to learn. Learn how not to be angry. Are you very sensitive? Every little thing you think is something else. You're so sensitive. You read meanings into everything. Nobody can joke with you. They're afraid around you. That's not good. So, because if you are like that, eventually, good people will run away from you. You'll be by yourself. They will flock to somebody else who doesn't take everything too personal. They flock to somebody else who can take jokes and they can crack jokes together and all that stuff. So if you are like that, don't just say, well, this is just who I am. No, that's not who you are. You can change it. You can develop skills in the way you handle your emotions, right? You don't have to bottle everything in and then explode on people. You can learn how to handle emotions, right? Very, very important. I don't have the time to talk, in depth about everything, but I'm giving you some ideas. Now, another area you can develop is your financial skills. Do you know that even in the midst of the pandemic, some people, because they've developed a financial skill, they were able to still thrive in the pandemic. While others don't have money, they had money. Why? Because prior to pandemic, they were saving. They were saving. They budget. Do you know that just because you have money doesn't mean you spend all your money? Right? You develop financial skills. You develop budgeting. You develop financial discipline. You develop delayed gratification. That you have something now doesn't mean you must spend everything now. Or that others are driving this or driving that doesn't mean it's time for you to drive it. Right? At the right time, then you will drive it. Delayed gratification. So financial skills, there's a lot of financial skills, and you can learn these things, and I'll tell you how to do it momentarily. Another area where you can develop skill is relationships. Relationship skills, right? So I'm talking about you having a significant order in your life. I'm talking about, with your wife, with your husband, right? Girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, that kind of a thing, right? How do you develop your relationship skill, right? How do you communicate, right? Because two people growing up from two different environments coming together sometimes can be tough. Knowing how to communicate properly will help, right? How to express love, right? Being romantic. So we're still talking about this relationship skill, right? Developing romantic romance or something, how to be romantic, and just really knowing how to express love. Some people, they love you. It's just all in their mind. They never express it. They never express through affection, right? So it's all part of learning how to develop being romantic, right? You learn how to be affectionate. Sometimes those of you who grew up without affection in your life, your mom was not affectionate towards you, your dad was not affectionate towards you, you don't know how to express affection. So you got married, you don't touch your husband, you don't touch your wife, everybody's just looking at everybody, right? So you can develop all those things, right? You can learn about love languages and how to use that to communicate love with your significant other, all right? You can also learn business and marketing skills. Some of you are in business, you can learn how to do business better. Just because you want to sell something doesn't mean that's all you need to know about it. Oh, I'm just going to buy it and sell it. You think that's all there is to business? How do corporations become multi-billion dollars corporation? Because they learn some business tips, business techniques. So you too can learn that. Don't just say, well, is it not just to buy something and sell it? No. Learn more. There's more to business than that, right? And then there's also marketing. How do I market this business? You can have a business in a corner, but nobody knows about it. So you learn some marketing skills. Now, if you notice that all of these things, they are kind of a well-rounded set of skills, right? You can also learn parenting skills. In the 21st century, in the days we're in right now, parenting is different from at the time of our parents or grandparents, right? So you want to learn parenting skills. How can I parent in this 21st century? Lastly, let me mention cross-cultural understanding and mindset. Cross-cultural understanding and mindset. What is that? Just because you're in America doesn't mean everybody's Americans. Just because you are in Nigeria doesn't mean everybody's Nigerian. Just because you are in Haiti doesn't mean everybody's Haitians, right? So you want to learn, how do people think and how do people see things outside of my own little culture? Because if all you know is your little culture, you are in a box. And so you want to get out of that box and become a global citizen, And it helps you to see things in a different way. Many people are stuck because they only see things the way they see it in their own little country. But they forget that there are 8 billion people around the world, and they don't all see things the way they see it in your little village, right? People see bigger and better. Wow. So you're saying, I've been challenged today to learn a lot and to develop a lot of skills. And I've seen where this can really help me. It can give me an edge over my competitor. It can really open more opportunities for me. And it really can help me a lot. So how do I then develop the skill set? Well, let me say this. And I said this before, but I want to repeat it. The more well-rounded you are, the better for you. It gives you an edge over the competitor. You know, there's a friend of mine who moved to America about 6 weeks ago, and him and his wife and children. And they got here, and of course, as an engineer, he's still trying to kind of figure out and still looking for a job and all that stuff. But his wife knows how to braid hair, right? Now, that's not her primary career when she was in Nigeria, but she also knows how to braid hair. And guess what? That's what is feeding the family right now. That extra skill is helping them at a time, right, where they need it most. So from that, we also see adaptability. So you need to develop your adaptability skill, right? Flexibility. Some people, they're too stuck. This is the way I know it. This is the way I know it. So they cannot adapt. They cannot change some things. Sometimes, in the Bible, it says when you are in Rome, you do like the Romans, and when you are in wherever else, you do like them, right? So it's like learning how to adapt is another skill set. Let me also mention one skill set I forgot to mention, technical skills. In our world today, you need technical skills too, right? How to handle the computer, right? If you don't know how to handle the computer, learn it. Develop some technology skills. What's the current trends, when it comes to technology? And may I add even one more, creativity and innovation, coming up with new ideas, getting creative in what you're doing. All those skills, they will help you. So back to what I was saying, I say the more well-rounded you are, the better for you. Now you may say, wait, that's a lot of skill set you just gave us right there. How are we supposed to know all of this? Now, of course, you're not going to learn it overnight, but you can make it a point that you want to be a well-rounded person, right? And because you don't need a college degree for these things, some things, it's just one day you learn it. Just one day. Some things, it's just over a weekend. Some things over a few weeks. But you can begin to acquire more skills, acquire more skills, acquire more skills. Let me also say this. This is very important. This is going to help you. You can be better than this. Because really, when you look at all that I've been saying, this is all about personal development. Personal development. And I'm saying to you that wherever you are right now, wherever you are right now, you can be better than this. Don't say to yourself, well, they should just accept me the way I am. Can I advise you right now? Please throw that kind of mindset away. Throw it in the garbage right now. Because that's what's going to keep you down. Well, if they don't like me the way I am, well, sorry for them, or something like that. Too bad. No, it's not too bad. You are hurting yourself. It's not them you're hurting. It's yourself you're hurting. Because if you don't advance, if you don't develop more skills, guess what? Your competitors, they're pushing you aside. You are being left behind. You are hurting yourself. So don't say, well, people should just accept me the way I am. No, that's a wrong mindset right there. Develop yourself, because you can develop yourself, all right? You can develop yourself. Now, I mentioned earlier that in developing yourself, you don't need a formal education. You don't need to go to a university to develop all of these things I've mentioned today, right? There are books you can read. There are seminars you can attend. I know we live in the world of social media and YouTube. There are many how-tos on YouTube. And then there are some websites that teaches courses. It could be a one-day course on how to be this or how to be that. So start taking them. Many of these things you can learn for free, but it's helping your own personal development. Remember, if you have two people, the one with the better skills, the one with more skills will be chosen over the one without the skills. So let's apply this to the job, right? Of course, you probably know this already. When you go for job interviews, they are interviewing people, they're checking out their interpersonal skills, their communication skills, they're checking out their academic skill, they're checking out their leadership skill, they're checking out various areas of skills in the life of this applicant. And then they say, you know what, of all the 500 people we interview, this one has the best skill, well-rounded. So they pick that one. You now, you have not developed many skills. Maybe you only know book, you only know academic, you don't know communication, you don't know conflict resolution, you don't know how to handle emotions, you don't know many things. You only know that you are the best in class, and you think that's enough. And so, at a job interview, they're looking at a well-rounded person, and they pick somebody over you. And you may think it's a spiritual attack against you. It's not a spiritual attack. It is you who have not developed the skills that will help you to win over others. How about, let's look at it from a relationship standpoint. So you're a lady, you're looking to get married. Now, you have not developed skills of, let's say, being romantic, right? Being affectionate. You have not developed skills on respect or something like that. But you want to be married. And so there are other women around you. They are respectful. They are romantic. They are affectionate, right? They have this other additional stuff. Well, you say, well, I know how to cook. They know how to cook too. You say, well, I know how to clean. They know how to clean too. You say, I know how to, take care of children. They know how to take care of children too. But you are not romantic. They are. You are not affectionate. They are. You don't even have the intelligence to carry a conversation, right? You're not the kind of person that wants to carry a conversation, intelligent conversation with a potential suitor. Who are they going to choose? Of course, they will choose the one who has all this other stuff. Yes, you can clean. Yes, you can cook, but you don't know this other stuff. You lose. So, but what about if you develop those things? You win. Because then somebody will say, wow, you know what? You know all these things? This is better for me. Because the more you know, the better for them. So what I'm saying to you is this. The more you know, the better for you. Because it gives you an edge, always, over your competitor. You can be better than this, right? And of course, all the skill set we're talking about doesn't always require that you have a formal education. You can also look for people who are good in these areas. You can say, I notice you are good in this area. Have conversations with them, get some tips from them, right? You can get a mentor as well, right? Sometimes you have a mentor who can also teach you in those areas where you're not as good. They're helping you to develop your skill set. Very, very important. Now, as we move on to personal development, you need to determine the area, right, where you want to develop yourself, the area where you want to develop some skill set. Now, I can tell you this, that sometimes one of those areas is the areas others are complaining to you about. They're complaining about you, to you. They say, you get angry so easily. Okay, that's a cue right there. You need to develop how not to get angry so easily. Oh, I can never have a conversation with you. So you need to develop how people can have a conversation with you, how you know how to carry a conversation. You need to develop that, right? So very important that you determine that area and then put a plan together. Put a plan together. I'm going to grow in this area. I'm going to grow in this area. So that means you put a list together and you're saying to yourself, I'm going to be intentional about growing in this area. All right? So as you're doing it, don't say, I cannot. I cannot. No. Wrong mindset. Say, I can. I can. Right? I can. Now, sometimes your mediocrity, the fact that there are mediocre people around you, has a way of wanting to stop you from developing yourself. But don't allow the mediocrity to stop you. Become so exceptional that you stand out so much around people around you. Everybody says, wow, you are in a class all by yourself. We can't even match you. Why? Because you've developed yourself. Don't say because all these people around me, they don't know nothing. So you stay ignorant. No, you keep on developing. You keep on developing. Guess what? Opportunities will open for you that you'll be chosen. They won't even look at the people around you. They will choose you just like that. Very important. Don't let your culture, sometimes cultural mindset has a way of stopping us from growing. What our culture have always accepted. You have to become global in your thinking and say, you know what, my culture may accept that, but no, I'm not accepting that. I want to be better. Sometimes our religious mindset also keeps us down. There's some ways that religion has a way of keeping you down. Be careful. Religion is good, but find where it's good and where it's not good, put it aside, right? And as you're learning all those things, then begin to practice. Practice as you're learning. Practice as you're learning. Practice as you're learning until a new you emerges. Wow, people around you will say, wow, you're so different from everybody else. Yes, you're so better than everybody else. Even your peers will be the one pointing to you like, wow, you're better than all of us. You've learned all these things. You know, like any area, you are good. You have learned it. You have practiced it. It's become part of your life. I'm telling you, nobody can say no to you again because you have developed skills. I want to encourage you, make it a point. Personal development. Begin to develop your skills. Skills in various areas of life. And it will help you to succeed in marriage. It will help you to succeed in parenting. It will help you to succeed in finance. It will help you, even in your health area. You can develop skills in that area as well. It will help you to succeed in that area and honestly, in every area of life. I would like to know what you think about this video. Have you enjoyed it? Have you learned something from it? Has it encouraged you to go and develop yourself? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget, if you're watching me on YouTube, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're watching me on Facebook, like this page. I also want you to comment and share this with somebody else. Please visit my website, femiakojenu.com, to see what events I have coming up and to see the various things I am doing. I want to thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much.